This is Bridge with Stephen. Today we're going to do the second of four parts on the subject of hand evaluation. In the last session, we mostly talked about points, high card points, shortness points, length points, valuation points. Several terms were defined. And we talked about the subject of good versus bad points a little bit there when we were discussing the 4-3-2-1 point count assignation scheme that from the Gorn days, where aces were awarded 4 points, kings 3, and we still do that today. We discussed at that time the shortcoming of that system. It tends to undervalue aces, kings, and tens, and overvalue queens and jacks. So that a hand with any given number of high card points, let's say 11, if those high card points are rich in aces, kings, and tens, then we're going to have a better hand than if we have the same number of high card points with a lot of queens and jacks. We also noted that the queen of trump was probably undervalued. It's not a 2-point card, it's probably a 3-point card. So that's some of the subject of good and bad points that we have discussed already. Now, what are we talking about here? Remember, it's about taking tricks, not points. Points are only a means to try to determine how many tricks we can take and how many tricks we should contract for. Let me show you an interesting hand right here, or an interesting pair of hands. One that's got very few high card points and can make a slam, and one with an awful lot of high card points that's going to not make more than an over trick above game. Look at this hand. What is it about this hand? As you can see, this hand will probably lose a spade, no hearts, no diamonds, and no clubs. And in fact, if the opponents don't take their ace of spades on the opening lead, they might not get it at all. So this hand, even though there's only 5 high card points over here, and only 11 high card points over here, with a combined 16 high card points, this hand is going to be able to take 12 or 13 tricks. Whereas this hand, we've got 22 high card points over here. We've got 12 high card points over here. That's a total of 34 high card points. Most of us will learn that's enough for small slam. But look, this hand will take 3 spades. It'll take 4 hearts, that's 7 tricks. It'll take 2 diamonds, that's 9 tricks. And a club, that's 10. You're not making a slam with this hand. This hand, despite all of its high cards, is flawed in a few ways that we'll be discussing as we go along, and we'll come back and look at this hand perhaps a little bit, that degrades the quality of these points. They're just not going to do as much as these points are going to do. Okay, and part of our hand evaluation protocol will be to try to determine, to get to slam with this hand, and I don't know how we're going to avoid slam with this hand, but if we get there, we're not going to make it. Okay, let's look at some of the features of hands that tend to make the points better or worse. Let's talk about concentration of strength. I'm going to show you 2 different hands. They have the same shape, they have the exact same number of high card points, they have the exact same spots. All I've done is taken the high cards from these 2 suits and stuck them up here so that I now have these spades and these hearts and nothing in clubs and diamonds. This is a much better hand than this hand, even though they have the same high card points and shape. This hand right here will certainly take 7 tricks. Let's say we're playing a no trump. I can see 4 spades and either 3 or 4 hearts. But what's the fate of this hand with the same high card points? Because the points here are now scattered rather than concentrated. Well, if we're extremely unlucky, we might only get our 2 aces. But that would be very unlucky. But there could be the ace queen of spades behind the king jack. There could be no more hearts to be had. The diamond finesse could fail, and we might not get a club. So this hand goes from being anywhere from 2 to some higher number of tricks to 7 or 8 tricks just by concentrating the strength. Okay, now we're going to talk about location of strength. These 2 hands are also the same shape and also have the same high cards and spots. But the difference here is I've taken, this hand has the high cards leading the long suits. What I've done is taken the ace king out of the spade suit and stuck it down here into the diamonds, and I've taken the ace out of the heart suit and stuck it down into the clubs. And as a result, this hand has become degraded. This hand cannot do as much as this hand can do. This hand can make game opposite this dummy. You give me a little help in spades, give me a little help in hearts, and I'm probably just going to lose these 3 tricks, and I have an excellent chance of making 4 hearts or 4 spades. But not with this hand. This hand I could lose 2 or 3 spades, I could lose 2 hearts. So I don't have much chance of making game with this hand. And yet, they're almost the same hand except for the location of strength. This one has the high cards leading the long suits, this one doesn't. So concentration of strength, location of strength, those are both factors. Incidentally, I didn't mention what QT was up here. That stands for quick tricks. And we're going to be talking about quick tricks and losing trick count in the next session. And at that time, we'll talk about how quick tricks help us identify these kinds of problems, and how losing trick count helps identify some shape problems. For example, an ace and a king in the same suit are worth 2 quick tricks, but ace and king in different suits are worth 1.5. And you can see going from 1.5 to 2 quick tricks by concentrating the ace and king in the same suit is a way of taking into consideration concentration of strength. Now let's get to shape. When we looked at these first 2 hands over here, the reason this hand does so well is because of its shape. It has long suits and short suits. Here's a singleton, here's a void, here's a 6-card suit, here's a 7-card suit. This hand didn't do nearly so well because they're both, this is a balance, they're both balanced hands. In fact, among the many defects of this hand is the mirroring of the shape of these 2 hands. They're both 4, 3, 2, 4. Shape, this hand has shape, these hands don't. And that will be identified with something called losing trick count. Look at these 2 hands now, let's compare these. This is the same hand we just saw up above, 11 high card points. This hand has about 15 high card points. So you might think on first blush that this is the better hand. But this hand has, we'll learn how to count losers in the next session, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6 loser hand. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 11 points opposite 15, but only 6 losers compared to 8 losers. And we will take shape into consideration when we use losing trick count. Having long suits and short suits is what does that for us. Okay, now here's another feature of hands that will help determine good points from bad points. Let's assume that partner has bid spades and diamonds. Which of these hands is the better hand to support for partner? Do you want to give partner the queen of spades and the ace of hearts? Or do you think partner will fare better with the ace of spades and the queen of hearts, or do you think they're equal? Well, on first blush, again, they look pretty equal. But the plain fact is that if partner has bid spades, this queen of spades is definitely a useful card. This queen of hearts might not be. So I can give partner 2 good cards when I provide the queen of spades and the ace of hearts. But when I have them reversed, I'm not so sure how useful that queen of hearts is. These points are not as good as these points if partner has bid spades and diamonds. Of course, if partner has bid spades and hearts, then they're probably equivalent. Now in this hand, partner once again has bid spades and diamonds. What I've done in this hand, comparing this to this, I've taken the queen and moved it from the spades into the hearts. So now the spades don't have a queen anymore, but the hearts do. And I've done the same thing with the diamonds and the clubs. I think by now it should be apparent that if I can provide partner with the 2 queens in his or her 2 suits, that's going to be better support than if the queens are in side suits. Okay, now we're going to look at duplication of values. This is something that can degrade the quality of a hand, and we're going to see just how. You hold king, queen, jack in one suit. Let's just call these spades and hearts again. King, queen, jack, spades, and 3 small hearts. Now, which of these is going to be a more useful dummy? A singleton in the spades and 3 small hearts, or 3 spades and a singleton heart? They look alike. When we first look at them, what's the difference? Well, the problem here is we have a duplication of values. We have second round control of the spades, and we have second round control of the spades in both hand and dummy, and we have no control of the hearts in either hand with this arrangement. But with this arrangement, we have second round control of both suits. We have second round control of spades by virtue of having the king, queen, jack opposite 3 small. We're only going to lose the first round to the ace. And we have second round control over this other suit, hearts, because we have a singleton there. This is a much more effective combination than this one. With this combination, our king, queen, and jack are all working. But with this combination, they're really not. I might be able to get 2 discards because of king, queen, jack opposite a singleton, but I may not need them. They may not help me. So this is a duplication of values, having second round control of two suits, of the same suit in two hands. And here's another one. I've got ace queen doubleton opposite king jack doubleton. If I only had two small over here, I'd have 4 tricks in this suit. But because I have these two doubletons, I can only get 2 tricks even with the 4 top cards. So that's duplication of values. And we can see how that degrades a hand. We had a lot of duplication of values back in this hand over here, where once again we have ace, king, queen, jack of spades, but we're only getting 3 tricks. We do get all 4 of the top parts, but we have the same problem that we just looked at in diamonds, and that is part of what's wrong with this hand. Okay, now let's take positional considerations. We'll consider them. Here we have king, jack, 9 of spades and hearts. Left-hand opponent, let's say, has bid spades, and right-hand opponent has bid hearts. This king, jack, 9 is much stronger than this king, jack, 9. This king, jack, 9 is after the opponent's ace, queen, 10, 3. But this king, jack, 9 is before opponent's ace, queen, 10, 3. So we're going to want to take into consideration the hand to our left and the hand to our right. When the hand to our left is the one that's bidding, we're in a slightly better position than when it's the hand that follows us and plays after us that has the points. And finally, we're going to look at hand reevaluation. This is a very interesting hand. You're dealt this 2, 6, 8, 10 high card points, and you're going to pass. Now, partner opens the bidding a heart. What do you bid now? Well, we're going to have to reevaluate our hand. First of all, we didn't get ourselves any credit for the spade shortness before we had a fit. We do have a fit now. So this is suddenly going to be worth 3 points that we didn't give ourselves credit for before. Remember we said that the queen of trump, we want to give ourselves 3 points for that one instead of 2. So we're going to get an extra point for that, and we're going to get an extra point for the 9th trump. So now we have 3, 6, 7, 11, 13, 15 high card points. This hand has just shot up in value because partner was open a heart. So we're going to want to put partner in game. The bidding's going to go pass, 1 heart, and you can bid 4 hearts, or perhaps you might even want to splinter if that's what you like to do. The bid then would be 3 spades, which would be game forcing, showing 4-card heart support and game forcing strength. Anyway, that's it for today.